First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you to the Master's Degree on the Cutting Edge of Science and Business webinar. My name is Miranda Buss. I am the Assistant Director here, and I'm also a graduate of the program itself. I was a plant biotechnology graduate from the class of 2012, so I have a little bit of experience being on the student side of this program as well. We're going to have 4 different panelists with us today. We have 3 alumni, John, Andrew, and Beth, and a current student, Abhijit, who is going to help us answer some questions here in just a little bit. We're going to cover a few main points, the first being what really is a professional science master's program, how the program can really help you, what the program here at Illinois specifically looks like, and then we'll have time to speak with our alumni and current students what the professional science master's program is. It's very unique compared to other degrees out there. The professional science master's degree really has 3 different parts. First and foremost, it contains graduate level science, business and professional skills component, and last but not least, it contains experiential training or learning, usually through internships. So when students graduate with a professional science master's degree, what they really have is a master's degree in a science discipline, but they also walk away with a concentration in business and professional skills. So to really compare this program with the others out there, we have a few select here that we're comparing against. First and foremost, the main difference is the content. A professional science master's degree contains both science and business, which is unlike a traditional thesis master's or a PhD, which is science courses only, and the MBA, which is business only. Another way the PSM is really different is the thesis or non-thesis area. So the Professional Science Masters is a non-thesis program in comparison to the thesis masters or the PhD where you'd have to write a thesis or dissertation. And this is because the PSM is not based upon research. It's based upon classwork and internship opportunities. The thesis masters and PhD program are both heavily research intensive. And while we do allow students to do research with the professional science master's degree, it is not a research-based degree, so we encourage students to participate in other avenues. And for that reason, the professional science master's program is significantly shorter than the other programs that are out there. Our program is very fast-paced. It is 16 months in length. That means that everybody comes in fall semester. They're here for the fall and the spring. Over the summer, they do their internship, which is also a course, and then they come back in the last fall and wrap everything up together. So that's the 16 months. Whereas with the thesis master's or PhD program, because it is heavily research-based and they're having to do their research and write and defend a thesis or dissertation, those take much longer. But the main thing I want to hit about how our program really is different is where you want to go when you graduate. If you're really into research, then maybe the thesis master's or PhD program is where you want to go. Most students who graduate with those types of degrees do go into research later on. The MBA program, usually those students are graduating and going into the business field but not touching science at all. The professional science master's students, however, really can touch all of those areas. So they really like to be related to both science and business aspects. And what that really means is there's value of the PSM degree. We've already explained that there are the technical-minded people that maybe are wanting to do the research-based careers. There's the business-minded people that are in the MBA program. And then there are professional science master's students. These students are really great at connecting both the technical and business sides of a company. This means they understand that science curriculum, but they also have that broad foundation in business. So they can really talk with both sides and really become the interface of science and business. For our PSM graduates, that means they have flexibility in career placement. For their employers, that means that they have the opportunity to hire people that already have skill sets in both of these, making training time less. So one question we usually get are, what kind of jobs can I obtain once I graduate from this program? And this is just a small list of some of the positions that our graduates have had since they've graduated. And you can see there are numerous things on there, anything more on the science side, such as a lab manager or innovation scientist, all over towards the business side as well, whether that's a sales manager or purchasing manager. I also want to point out that our PSM graduates and current students go into internships in numerous different areas, anywhere from the seed and chemical sides of things, bioenergy, food companies, pharmaceutical companies, and even government agencies. Like I said, this is just a small sampling. The next slide is the PSM Employment side of things. So this is where students have gone once they have graduated. You can see that some of those are actually what they were on the internship sides of things. Some of our students do go back to the company they interned at full-time when they graduate, which is great. Others go other paths, which is also fine. But once again, a wide variety of employment opportunities out there for our students. So here at Illinois, our program is about 75% science and 25% business. Students can take a little more science, which bumps that up just a little bit if they need or would like to. As I mentioned earlier, our program is 16 months in length. That is a fall semester followed by the spring semester, the summer where they do their internship, and then following up that final fall and graduating in December. We really try to be flexible with our program. We want to ensure that our students have the ability to take the science classes that are really going to help them with their future end goals. We do tie in that internship experience, and that's really where students can really start to understand where their science and business skills are merging. And once that internship is over, we actually have them do a capstone poster presentation that really helps explain what they learned over the summer. Not only are the students learning to merge science and business skills within classes and their internships, they're also doing it through seminar series and activities. We do host a seminar series where we bring in industry guests, maybe alumni or others throughout the university to really help students understand just how they can tie their skills together. The seminar is not the only place that we really interact with industry and alumni. We also have an advisory board made up of industry partners who we work with on a regular basis to ensure that our students are obtaining the knowledge they need to go into the workforce. We have a decently large alumni chapter here at Illinois now, and our students are in regular contact with them, and our alumni are always welcome to help out current students. And finally, we also offer career advice and professional development, not only through events, but by encouraging our students to go to places like the career centers on campus to further their professional development. Currently, we have 6 programs here at Illinois. 4 of those are within the College of Agricultural, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences, or ACES, and 2 of them are within the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, better known as LAS. The ACES programs are agricultural production. This could include animal production, crop production, or sustainable production systems, bioenergy, food science and human nutrition, technical systems management is the final in the College of ACES, and there are 2 in the College of LAS. We have geographic information science and plant biotechnology. We're going to go ahead and ask our alumni some questions then. We should have with us John Buns. He was from the class of 2010, and he was in bioenergy, and he's now at DuPont as a technical sales account manager. We also have Beth Papanek with us. She was also a bioenergy student, but from the class of 2011. She is now working on her PhD at the University of Tennessee. We have Andrew Gabalis with us. He is a graduate from the class of 2014 in plant biotechnology, and he recently started working at Eli Lilly as a senior scientist. And last but not least, we have one of our current students, Abhijit, and he is also in bioenergy. And so we're going to ask them a few questions, and then we will let you guys ask them questions as well. Why you chose the Illinois PSM versus another degree, that would be great.
Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Abhijit Lima, and I'm a second-year graduate student here, majoring in bioenergy. Why did I choose this Illinois PSM program? I would like to give 2 reasons for this. One is I had an ambition to become an entrepreneur later in my life. I was really passionate about renewable energy, especially bioenergy science. And as far as I know, this is the only university in the United States which offers master's degree in bioenergy specifically. So these were the two reasons I wanted to move towards the managerial side of it, because in my undergraduate studies I did 1.5 years of research, and I wanted to basically move towards the business side of it, get the knowledge of science, get the knowledge of bioenergy theoretically, and then apply it through the looking from the business perspective. So basically, this was the main reason why I chose this program here.
All right, great. And John, are you able to speak with us now?
So the question was, why did I choose the PSM and over other programs? Was that the question?
Yes.
My answer is similar to Abhijit. I knew I kind of wanted to be in industry. I liked, when I was in undergrad, I really enjoyed learning about kind of practical application rather than theory, and I think that's kind of what had me leaning towards a more industry-focused program rather than something more abstract. So that was a huge driving force, and I knew I wanted to be in the renewable fuels industry. I didn't exactly know what that meant or what my place was at the time that I applied, but I think the PSM really helps to paint the landscape of the opportunities out there for careers. And so, even if you're going on to a PhD program, Beth can probably comment better than I can. But even if you're going on to a PhD program, it really helps you to have some focus on what you really want to focus on. So for me, it was desire to kind of fast track the career in industry.
All right, thank you. And actually, we'll go ahead and lead into Beth. And we did have the question about going into the PhD program. And the question I was going to ask is, where can you go after you graduate? Is the PhD possible? And so, Beth, would you like to enlighten our guests on maybe why you went ahead and did the PSM program before you went on to do your PhD?
Sure. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfect.
Wonderful. So similar experience. I wanted something more applied. I have a chemistry bachelor's degree, and I got really frustrated with how academia-minded it was. So I did the PSM to get the more applied approach, and then I have since gone on to a PhD. The PhD program is also interdisciplinary, so they encourage students to pursue interest in entrepreneurship. So I actually, in addition to doing my dissertation research, I work in the partnerships lab, or the partnerships office, the Office of Industrial Partnerships and Economic Development at Oak Ridge National Lab, and have been taken much more seriously and got to jump into that right away because I did actually have some business background. And I am working with a startup company right now that I will hopefully become CEO of when I graduate, and the parent company has said specifically how rare it is and how useful it is to have someone who understands the technical side of things but also can really speak to the business interests.
If you would like to comment a little more on really how the PSM program itself for sure is helping you with your role there, any specifics?
Being able to say that I have taken the business classes and I have some actual experience in the business has certainly helped with that. Like I said, that kind of let me jump into things right away. I am getting a PhD in energy science and focusing on the bioenergy. So all of the science classes were also directly applicable to my research currently. I've had to take fewer courses in my PhD program because a lot of my master's credit transferred over. So every aspect of the PSM has just really expedited the PhD process.
Okay, that's great. And Andrew, we don't want to leave you out of the conversation. Would you also like to explain to us maybe how the PSM degree or specific aspects has been helpful in your job so far?
So, I'm pretty new to this role, but I can kind of already tell, there really is a need for someone that has at least an interest or kind of curiosity about kind of the advanced scientific topics that that are part of the coursework within the program. So, there's really a need here where I work for someone who knows how to find basically information, looking through primary literature and articles and finding out this information, as well as kind of project management skills, and because that's a lot of what I've done here so far is part of projects. So you have to think about deadlines and what pieces go together, because you have to talk to different functional groups within the business or company. So you really know how to talk that talk as well as bring in, scientific part of it. So yeah, it was really useful in that respect.
So you guys can see that definitely our alumni have used the program since they graduated. And I guess what I'd like to ask is, Abhijit, as a current student, what have you been learning so far that you really think you're going to use once you become a full-time employee?
This program, as I mentioned before, and just now as Andrew said, there are like the business skills, like the project management and the marketing classes have really helped us. So basically, I think one of the important things that I learned here was networking. I think networking is very important. As an international student, I know like how hard it is to find a job here, but then if you network properly, if you have good connections, have a good LinkedIn profile, you have a really good career center here. So I think keep on updating your resume. Like these are the different things that I learned because I did. This program has helped us to basically connect between the industry, academia, and the students.
Okay, great. Do any of our audience members have questions specifically for a certain alumni or current student? We have a question, and I think Abhijit might be one of the best people to answer this, or at least can assist with this, and that is, how difficult is it for international students to find a job? I have seen big firms like EPA hiring students from the UIUC PSM. Can international students reach that level?
So basically, as I mentioned before, it is difficult for international students because we have a time frame wherein we have to find a job. So we have like a 3 months after our graduation date so we can be unemployed during that time, but after 3 months after our graduation date, we will not be allowed to stay back in the US. So, but then you have a time frame, but I think if you take it positively, you have a deadline, so you will be working more efficiently towards getting a job. So as I told you before, networking is very, very, very important. Getting in touch with different industry people, academia people. As people here have mentioned before, we have seminar series, we have career fairs. I think going to these career fairs and the seminar series would really help. Get in touch with the industry people, send them an email, because just applying online, I think that is the process, but then it is not only the way that you may end up getting a job.
Just jump in. I absolutely agree with Abhijit that it's all about the networking. For me, I came from a little bit smaller undergraduate program, so a big chunk of the value of the PSM were things outside of the program that were part of the university itself. So all the clubs and student organizations, access to very prestigious professors that were on campus. That was something I didn't have access to in my old university. So absolutely encourage any current Illinois student or a future Illinois student to take advantage of that. Most people are very receptive to answering questions and helping out if you ask for it. So, yeah, I think that's huge. My company works with academic professionals all the time. So, most of the professors on campus will have some connection to industry and also to government organizations. Like, I think the question was around the EPA. There's usually a working relationship maintained with the academic staff. So, whether that's your advisor or somebody your advisor knows, that's definitely something to take advantage of, and that will really enhance your ability to get a job.
I'd like to add on to that with just the fact that everyone here at the PSM office, including the program faculty advisors, really try to work with our students in making sure they at least have the opportunities out there to find internships and put them in with connections of people they have in industry for full-time positions. Are there other questions that our audience has? Okay, we have a question. It says the website says that UIUC doesn't limit the students from any kind of research if they are interested. So what kind of additional laboratory experience can we get as PSM students? Andrew, I think this might be a good point for you to step in and maybe talk about how you could kind of somewhat do research, at least within the plant biotechnology program, maybe with some of the things you guys did.
So with those projects, but within the plant biotechnology program, we do these consulting projects with companies. So we did one with Dow AgriSciences, and we did another one with a company called Lycor Biosciences. One of those projects, we were actually kind of validating, coming up with a protocol or a method to basically expand out to plant researchers using their device. So there was a marketing and a lab portion to that. So that's kind of a way where you would get laboratory experience without it being kind of traditional kind of research assistant stuff. But
I can jump in here since I did research the whole time I was in my PSM degree. Mm-hmm. I came in and I knew that I wanted to continue on to get my PhD. So I knew that not having any research experience might not be the best approach to going about doing that. So I was in the full course load, but then I was also a research assistant in Hans Blaschek's lab the whole time. And it certainly helped with my PhD application. It takes some juggling, I'm not going to lie, because it is a full course load and there are other commitments. But I got through it. I did that and Illinois Business Consulting the whole time, and got a lot of research experience out of that.
Yes, and like I said, there's lots of things we can do here at the PSM program to help you with what you would like to do. We just keep in mind for sure what Beth said, that it is a full course load, but we can't guarantee research positions since you're not a traditional master's or PhD student. Now I'd like to offer our director, Natalie Bosecker, to say a few words.
Thanks, Miranda. It's so good to hear everybody, and welcome to our guests, and thank you, alumni and current students, for participating. It's great to hear from you again and all the wonderful things that you're up to. I would encourage anyone that's listening that is considering the Illinois PSM to talk to their major advisors or give Miranda or I a call or an email. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have and help identify what those potential career options may look like, where they may be, and help you any way possible. So thanks again for your participation, and we look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Well, up here is the information for each one of those faculty advisors, and they're always glad to hear from potential students. And if you're really considering applying, it's fairly easy to do. You just need to go to our website and go to the Apply Now button, and that will start your application process. We do ask that you provide us with your GRE scores, your transcripts, a personal statement, 3 letters of recommendation, and if you're an international student, we also ask that you take the TOEFL exams. With that being said, I want to thank everyone for attending our webinar with a master's degree on the cutting edge of science and business. Like I said earlier, we will be uploading this to our website. You are always welcoming phone calls and emails. There's our contact information. So thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed the webinar.